All right, let's play some Tour 7. Let's go out there and see what we can do. See if we can work on our bankroll. Trying to get commons. Why do we want commons? We want commons so that we can max out our clubs. We can start participating in the maxed club cards. Let's see what we get today. Let's see if we get the off-roader. I am working on my Nirvana. My Nirvana is the club is a club that I'm working on. Let's get out there. Let's clear out a slot. I don't like to play with less than 2 slots open. I'm gonna have to open up one of those golds in order to make the deal. Make sure we got our club set up. I'm gonna start play with this bag right here. Big dog, big topper. My big topper just went up in level and it's now 2.1 per ring. My big dog is at 1.8. So those accuracies have changed from the big dog being at 2.1 and the big topper being at like 2.4. So those are clubs I need to get used to. I need to get used to the numbers on them. I got a timer set. As soon as it's done, I gotta go make dinner. So you got me until the timer goes off. Got my little cheat sheet right here in front of me. Now that side right there is definitely the side to go on if you bring out a bigger ball so that you can work the wind so you have a much easier landing spot. You don't want to have to do that shot with overpower. You just want to finesse it around there. You get a great shot at it. It's not that you can't get over there with overpower. It's just you want to make that a shot that's a lot more stable, especially against a headwind. It's 2.1. It's 2.1 per ring, so that's one ring. It puts me about a half a ring into power. Rubbing up against the nubs is about that much. About that much power. Somewhere in that half a ring. We're just trying to get enough roll out so that we roll out of the rough. We didn't. Needed a little bit more overpower or some curl. Curl would have made it shorter. And it would have made the next shot shorter. That's not a bad spot to be in though for a rough shot. It's difficult here on this green because it drops. So this particular green has a lot of drop to it. And so you may be in a spot where wind is not a factor, but the actual how it rolls on the green is a factor. We can give it a much better look than that. Hit one ring great to the right. And I don't think I had any room on the right, maybe. And the wind did play a factor. A big factor. I was banking on that wind wouldn't play a factor. But it did. What do you know? I find the funnest part of the game is this stuff up close like this. Taking these chip shots. It's good to practice. So I was just talking to my teammate Mike D, And talking about with the new formatting system, because your weekly bracket doesn't have anything to do with where you're at in tournaments of going up to Masters. The only problem with, like, you'll get to that point as you go up in tours. So if you make it to Tour 9, you've got a much better chance of breaking into Masters. If you get to Tour 10, you're definitely going to be a Masters. So if you're successful at those levels, then you're going to be at that point. The deal is that when you get to Tour 10, you really can't play anything below Tour 7 and get live action. So before you ever go up, if your whole goal is to get max trophies, go get those lower trophies and max those tours out now. And you will not ever be able to go back and play them again. As you get towards the top, you're going to limit the amount of exposure courses that you can play. It's always going to be, and get live action. Now that also depends on tournament holes. So if there's some tournament holes in Tour 7 or Tour 8, and you normally can't get live action there, you'll be able to get live action during tournament week, because people will go down there and practice. Let's see what I can do on this hole. On this hole right here, I'm at max club, 1 per ring with a 10% wind adjustment. There's max. It takes very little topspin. It's 2-6. There's 2-6. Hit a 1 ring great to the right. Let's see if that was enough topspin. Maybe just a titch more. Just a bit. Good enough to win, though. That's amazing. Good game. Good game. See if that'll replay. Come on, man. Put that Masters thing. We were just talking about Masters. There's somebody who's a master right there. I know, like, I have a pro banner right now, but the highest that this account's been is Expert 3. And so I usually, and I was there for a long time. So I usually only play experts and masters. Who you play out on the course and who you're actually playing against in your bracket are two different things. It used to be, and I'm not sure whether it's like that now or not, it used to be if you got on and you got into a bracket and you started playing right then, you tended to get people that were in your bracket. And so you were actually playing against the people in your bracket. And that was kind of fun. Now, I'm not sure if it's still like that. But usually I get into a bracket and then I play a lot later. I'll take a Marlin for that imaginary number. Let me get over into this area. Won't take much effort. Give myself some room to work out the wind. It's 2, 4, 6, 8. It's about 8, 8. Put some curl on it. Ain't it perfect? Just try and bring it back out around into that fairway. You can over curl it and actually clip the rough right there. But I just want to bleed it out into that fairway, and I've got a big dog here so I could do a rough bump, and it takes very little topspin, but I have limited ball guide, so I can't really see where it's going to run out. And it hits at 1.8 per ring. I got to remember that because my big dog hit it like 2.1 forever, and now it's at 1.8. That's why I wrote my numbers down, because I'm making some mistakes with some of these clubs that are clubs that I like to play, just because I got the wrong numbers. One of my viewers put on there about Golf Clash Notebook, and I've had Golf Clash Notebook since the day it came out. I still have it, and I have the updated, right where it is right now. Let's see if I can do that rough bone. And not quite enough. It's 1.8 per ring. Okay, so let's get even with the wind. There's 1.8. That leaves me almost another one. See if I have my distance close. It's hard to tell when you have limited ball guide. When you're first coming up the scale and you're getting new clubs, I'm not sure. You have to look at every club, how you want to play that club to establish what you're looking for. Don't fall for this. It all has to be power. It all has to be what you're really looking for, especially when you've got newer clubs, is lower clubs like Kingfisher, clubs that have ball guide and accuracy. They may not have a lot of other stuff, but when you get down to those clubs, what you really want is ball guide and accuracy. Let me say that again. Ball guide and accuracy. I missed the Kingfisher the first time I went up. And part of that was because I was going for the deal. I kind of ruined that account if you want to look at it that way. You can't just go play. That's one of the cool things about this account is I haven't played above Tour 7. So I've never been to a trophy count that's such that I couldn't get live action all the way down to Tour 2. So if I'm down there playing, I can get live action. And this hole is decidedly tough with a big dog. But last time I didn't put quite enough topspin on. And I'm going to put 2 in just an ever so sliver. And there's 1.8. So there's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Got about that much. Plus a little. And then I hit it great on that side. If I was going to hit it great one side or the other, that's the side to hit it great on. That's all about distance. And I hit so far to the right, I lost distance. And I'm going up against that big ass headwind. Lost distance. No ball guide. Did I mention earlier ball guide and accuracy? If you practice that shot though with the big dog, you know where you're supposed to put your bounces. You can run it up there fairly easily. Ball guide. Accuracy. Seems like there's a couple holes in here where that big topper and a big dog. It's good to practice with certain clubs. It's like the good old days, back in the day when there was only one bag. You'd have to, if you wanted to go out and practice with your big topper to get used to it, you had to commit to it. Or if you wanted to play with your big dog like this, you wanted to get used to how it hits and how the ball guide, what you can see in the ball guide. Come on, man. What's wrong with you? No replay action. We can't give everybody what they want. They want more golf and less not rematching. See if I can remember how to play these holes. Sunshine Glades. I'll never forget how to play Sunshine Glades because we play it all the time. It's like, hey, there's another tournament. Which one of the Sunshine Glade holes are in it? Might actually, with the way the wind's blowing, you might actually be able to get onto that island. Might actually be able to do the shot.
Here are some results from the web.
See if my opponent can get over there. They're going for it. And I take the high percentage shot on this hole every time, especially in one-on-one. The whole goal is to win. That's the whole goal. 9, 4. There's 2, 4, 6, 8. Minus 8. 7, 2, 8. Go in that area. I gotta figure out I gotta sit down and do that math for the rings. So if it's 1.8, it means it's 9 miles per hour for all 5 rings. I'm gonna have to learn those in between numbers. 1.8, 3.6. That's 4.6 plus 8. 5.4. In the drink. Ooh, close. Two, 4, 6. Hey, get squared up. A little over. And I hit it great to the left. Could it have gone wrong? Those moguls right there on that side coming in there, the last tournament, those moguls were not there. It was that, it was a 9-hole cup, and they took those moguls out, and that hole was decidedly easier. The thing is I would like it to be there the opposite way. Like be nice to be here, but in tournaments there is a spot. There's several spots you can get out there where you can get on the other side of those, and it's worth the effort. It pays dividends. And so they made it easier so that other people can get dividends. And I hate those kind of putts. I hate those putts. For some reason I have a hard time holding it steady. So I let my opponent back in. Look at that. And I did just a simple layup. Usually that's a sniper, so. Wicked. That's what I'm talking about. Those moguls right there, I think those should be in the game. I'll teach you not to hit into them. But in one-on-one though, it's not set up for tournament. That's the deal is you play a lot of these courses, and during the week they play a certain way, but in the tournament they have a different green. Or the pins in a different spot. And I still won. Look at that. That's how bad they were. Good game. See if they'll rematch. Maybe we caught them on a bad run. Trying to get our pin chest. See if I can get my pin chest done before my timer goes off. Maybe. I think I dropped one. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Santa Ventura, hole 5, par 5. If you play Tour 7, oh, I love this hole. And I'm going to play this hole. I'm going to play this hole like I normally play this hole, with an extra mile and a Guardian. I'll show you a way to play this hole. Doesn't matter. You pull back and give yourself enough room. And it doesn't really matter where you get out there. You don't want to get too far out there, but it doesn't really matter where you get out there. A couple rings of separation. 4-3, that's 2 rings. Put a little bit of curl. And hit 1 ring great to the right. It's important that you hit that 1 ring great to the right. Not really. And just lay yourself up out there. I'm gonna put some curl and go around those trees. And so I'm not worried too much about those trees, but if you hit too far out there, the deal is that you have to set it up blind because the trees are blocking. You're going to go around the trees, and the trees are not going to affect your shot. But you won't have your ball guide to set the shot up because it'll be hitting the trees. So by the time it gets out to the point where you want the ball to be out there, you have to know how to set that up. And there's a spot. If you've got a Guardian, and you can do this with a sniper, but a sniper is different because it has more topspin. So what you can do with a sniper versus what you can do with a Guardian, it's totally different. In tournaments, I usually bring a sniper out here because there's a different shot you can take at it. But in one-on-one play, I love to play this hole with a Guardian. And I've talked it up. Let's see if I can actually achieve the deal. I want to be 3 rings of separation off of that fairway rough area. Okay, and I'm going to hit there's 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8. And I hit it probably 1 ring too far good, and it'll end up in the sand or the rough. Of course, I dubbed the shot that bad. And that was absolutely the worst win you could possibly get on that hole. I have fond memories of this hole. I learned how to run a rapier on this hole. And I didn't have a rapier at the time, so I switched to a Firefly because it had the stuff. I watched a top player play this hole, and he was using topspin to funnel his ball to the cup. And they'll be fine. They're on the fairway in a nice spot. That is totally doable with a Marlin. I duffed the shot. There's max, there's mid, there's 8, and I'm in that 16 per ring. I am down there. So it's 16 per ring, so that means that's 8. So half of that's 4. And I hit it great. On the wrong side. I wanted to hit it on the perfect side of great. Missed opportunity. I talked the hole up and then I tanked it. Look at that. And I love this hole. I played this hole a ton of times with a Marlin, but that is the worst win that you can get with a Marlin. That's why it was so short. Because normally that ball would have been in the sand. Good game. Good game. Good game, my man. Let's see if they'll replay. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Come on, replay me. Give me a chance to win my money back. There you go. You be a player. Sunshine Glades. Hole 7, par 4. The duck hole, I believe. This hole, too, as well, they took the moguls off the green in the last tournament. The last tournament was nothing but these holes. I'm going to switch to my number 2 bag. No, I'm playing my number 3. I want to get up there. I got to get up there. It's 2.1, so there's 2, 4, 6, 3. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if we can just lay it up out there. Get some forward run. Get my long iron range. Get to an accurate club. There is a spot out there I'm wondering if you couldn't lay it up to. Like lay it up to right here, and if you brought the right wood, run it through the neck. So you're taking a wood through the neck because that's on the other side of the moguls. The moguls are coming from this side right here. So if you come up the neck, you don't have to deal with the moguls. You just have to get back to the hole. If you go from the left-hand side, when you're coming onto the green, you got to contend with the moguls. I find it's always best when I'm coming in with my long iron to try and get it so that each bounce is in the bottom of a hole. Because it tends to run out really wonky on this hole. That's why everybody works so hard to try and get on in one. Or get up that neck in one. But I'm not so sure that there wouldn't be, especially if you brought out a bigger ball, there wouldn't be a spot. See those moguls I'm talking about? Try and get in front of them. Nine, 3. I have no idea where I'm at my Hornet. Right at max club. So that's 1. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and some. Oh, and now I hit it from the right to the left, and I hit it great to the left. That's how it's going to be. I'm the king of the greats. I used to be able to hit perfect. I think it's my glasses. I've got an eye doctor's appointment here soon. I'm excited. I literally can't see. Well, not literally. My opponent eyeballed it. Let's see if it works out for him. They use some system that they have. Just a bit outside. The deal is I'm pissed when I hit perfect and it doesn't go in the hole. I mean, come on. That's the whole deal. If you're making great wind adjustments, it should only go in the hole if you hit perfect. You know you have to make an adjustment if you hit a great and it goes in the hole. The funny thing about that is that you start making adjustments, and sometimes you're going in a certain direction, and you're actually, it's like, hey, I keep ending up to the right, so you keep going farther to the left, and the deal is the tail is wagging, so you actually need to go to the right and straighten it back out again, if that makes sense. I'm going to play this hole. I've been practicing a shot from back here. I'm going to have to take this with my big dog. It seems like it's just a couple, just a little bit of backspin. I'm going to put on one backspin. Just try and go straight towards the cup. 2, 4, 6, 8. It's 8, 4. I'm going to do a little bit of an over adjustment. Hitting it perfect. And see if that top spin's right. Nope. Or the adjustment was wrong. I was at maximum club, so it should have been 2.1 per ring. I didn't pull it far enough. I should have did at least a 10% adjustment, and I think with any kind of headwind there, I probably should be doing a 20% adjustment. I think just normally I do a 10% adjustment there, so that should have been, if it was an 8 mile an hour wind, it should have been 8.8 or more. If it was 8.8, that's close to 9. Should have been 9.7. My opponent will be able to beat that easily. Easy money. Just get in front of the sand. Good game. Good game. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I used to go out and do every shootout. I would try and do a grand slam. Try and dunk it. How much time I got left on my timer? Got 27 minutes. It's counting down. Maybe we can get all 4 in. I think I dropped one. I missed a hole. I didn't shoot the minimum score. And I did a layup. What kind of deal is that? I go first. This is absolutely a must eagle hole when you're in tournaments. It's a little tougher in one-on-one. Unless you want to bring out big stuff. I'm going to practice. Four, 6, 8. Let's see if I can just lay it up out there and not get in trouble. Hitting it perfect. See if I can get the wind adjustment right on that big topper. See if I can chip it in with my wedge and get some wedge practice. So my wedge has changed. And it was 1.3, now it's 1.2 at max, which is 2.4 at mid. .2, 2.4. See if we can get it in. I took a gamble, I laid it up. But a lot of times your opponent will end up in the rough. And they're in a great spot. Great spot. Absolutely the spot you want to be. We're in a pretty good spot too. There's Max. I'm right at Max Club. And I guess they didn't want to take that eagle. Thanks for the gold chest. Good game. All right, so I'm going to play one more. I'm going to leave 2 hanging. Let's play one more. Chill out, make some dinner, get a jump on it. Koh Hong Resort. This is the seahorse hole, or the seal hole. Actually, it looks more like a seal. Is this the seal hole? No. I like this hole though. I like this hole a lot better with a sniper as opposed to a big dog, but gotta take what you can get. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Put some curl on it. Hit it one ring great on the inside. I normally take that shot as a setup shot with my rock, and I do 5 rings off, and I do max curl, and that's why I should have set that up there. It doesn't have quite as much curl as my rock, but it would have been okay. I'm gonna have a long shot, but fortunately I have a long wood, and it hits at 1.8. Gotta get used to those numbers. That's a long shot with a. You want to be way up there in those shadows, because then you have a great straight in shot, even with a low power bulb. But from where I'm at, I'll have to bend it around. I'll have to use curl in order to get it back towards the cup. What I should be using here is a calculator. My opponent is in the bunker. That's no bueno. That's no bueno. Four eight. It's 1.8. So 4.8 divided by 1.8 is 2.66 rings. So 2 2/3. That puts me about a half a ring into power. Hitting it perfect. And over curled it. Over curled it. Got to get used to hitting them with that big dog. Got to get used to the spots. Like I have spots with my rock because it has tons of curl, and my QB and my sniper. I know like how many rings off I can be if I'm using max curl, and like where I'll end up. Like if I get too much closer than that, I'm pinching the corner. I can still make this shot though. I can. Let's see if I can run it up there. Yeah, it's probably better with a little backspin. Hit it one ring great. Great! Like the distance. Did not like the end result. Chip in to win. I would have liked it better if it was chip in to draw. See if they hit it perfect. They hit it perfect and it goes in. We know they got some method to their madness. Just a bit outside. Here's what I find is that a lot of people hit perfect, but they don't set the shots up perfect, so they don't go in. And my thing is, I think I set the shots up perfect, but I don't hit perfect, so I don't know if they'll go in or not. What kind of crap is that? I need to actually work on my swing so I can get my perfect rhythm back. Get on the trainer. I like going to shootouts, especially when if you're first going up to a tour. You want to go to shootouts. You want to play. I mean, it's nice to win out on the course, but the deal is going to shootouts. You need to learn those shootouts. If you're playing them all the time, if you're hanging out in a tour and you're playing that tour all the time, you'll learn them. Tour 7's a great place to learn, to go through and learn them. Do max backspin. Do a 15% wind adjustment. So I'm gonna do like a 20, so that's 3/6. There's 1/8. There's 3/6. And hit it great. It's going to run out too fast. It doesn't have quite enough backspin. It needs like one more bar. Big Tapa. Into the cup. See if my opponent can get better. You definitely want to hit on the downhill side of that. The side that I was hitting on. I always like it when my opponents hit from the other side. It's not that you can't get close from over here, but more often than not, they will jack the shot up. So 3/8's about where I'm touching, somewhere in that neighborhood. It's out towards their white ring. There we go. Let's see if they move it correctly. There's 1, 2, 3. They moved it 3 rings. So they're letting the wind push them back a little. So it should take a bigger bounce and go straight up and lose some distance. Good game. Good game. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. See if they'll replay. See if they'll replay. Get some replay action. No replay action. And the all right. I got one more slot to fill. Maybe I'll get unlucky and it'll take 2 to fill the slot, and then I'll finish out my pin chest. I got 15 minutes, 16 minutes, 16:45. We epic failed on this hole last time. Let's see if we can do a little better. I missed a freaking putt. 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 8, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just a little pull and just lay it up. And it shouldn't matter. You want to be out there far enough, it won't matter left or right. Normally you'll come to this hole with a sniper and you can do the sniper to the cup. It's one of the benefits of having multiple bags you can switch. I'm just practicing with my big dog and my big Tapa, trying to get used to their numbers. Getting a little bit of time and grade on them. And the big topper picked up some distance. So there's things I can do with the big topper now that it used to be. They buffed, when the club card trading came out the week before that, they buffed all the clubs. Not all the clubs, but they buffed a bunch of clubs. And one of the clubs they buffed was a rock. And they gave a rock 10 more yards from day one. So before, when it was maxed out, it used to be 220, mid 220. 10 less than what it is maxed out now. So it's kind of where the big topper is when it gets to level 7. So, and the big topper's got tons of stuff. And like mid club, mid big dogs, 2.1 per ring. I'm gonna put just a bit more topspin than I put last time. 3/8, 2.1. There's 4/2. So that's a 10% pull. Getting it great. Of course. Why wouldn't I hit it great? What do you mean? You can hit it perfect. I at least like to be in a bowl. Maybe I'll have an easier putt here. I doubt it. It might be one of those putts that has to go around the hill in order to get in it. I don't like the ones that's why I don't like these moguls. See how on this side over here it's flat? This is why if you come in with a big topper and you got a bigger ball, you can try and land on this island and do a third bounce rough bump, and it bleeds right up to the cup on the flat side. You can also do a shot with an extra mile trying to get over there where you're trying to be on that side. And that's a tough area to make chips in, even if you're that close. Hell, it's a tough area to make putts in. I'm not the best putter in the game. That's for damn sure. Did I say that out loud? See if my opponent can get in from there. See how the tail's wagging? It's going all over the place. And if you're trying to do a topspin shot, this is actually better if you can try and find a spot up there where you can use just a little bit of backspin and try and get it so that your first bounce is in a hole and then your next bounce is right in front of the cup, and you're trying to, so that there's very little movement through that area. So if you're used to running topspin, this is not a good area to run topspin through because it can get all kinds of messed up if your speed's not right. But if you can do one bounce on the other side of that and the other bounce you're right in front of the cup, then that's the way to go. Not necessarily a backspin shot, but a backspin shot. Come on, David. Come on, bro. Come on, U.S. Warriors. I do have one more. One more, and I have time for it. Look at that. I've got 12 minutes and 13 seconds. Let's see if we can get a gold. Fill it up. I'm not sure where I'm at in my thing. Koh Hong Resort. See which way the wind's blowing here. I might be able to do. Let's see if we can get around the corner. Now, I wasn't trying to do a max overpower hook. I was trying to just do a max curl shot. It's hard to do any of those kind of shots with wind. This is going to be one of those chatty guys, so we'll turn it off. See if they'll go for the same kind of shot or if they're going to play it safe. I find a lot of times people will come out here and try and play this shot safe and they'll end up in the rough. So we'll see. Excellent shot. Nirvana. It's 4-5. I'm going to do a 5 mile an hour pull, so that's 2.5 rings. I'm going to do max curl. And hit one ring on the outside, one ring to the left. Just bring it back up there and put myself back in play. Gave myself a look at it, but main thing is just to put yourself back in play. So if you end up in trouble and you're playing one-on-one, the whole deal is you want to shoot minimum score. People will pick this shot up, and more power to them. That's awesome. But if you don't pick it up, you want to make sure you're at least on there so you can get the minimum score. And if you've watched me play up to this point today, I haven't done that. And it drops your win percentage big time. If you just go out and play minimum score, you'll be amazed. You'll be at least like a 75%, because you'll win about 50% of your matches just out on the course. You won't even have to go to a shootout. And then you'll win 50% of the shootouts. And if you get good at the shootouts and can win 75% of the shootouts, then you can raise your average. That's why we need to have an average in the last 100 games, so people can really work their average. Having a lifetime average doesn't tell me anything. It doesn't tell me about all the forfeits that I do in tournaments. I forfeited probably 2,000 games. And that tends to skew your win percentage. With this wind right here, we could do a rough bump. And I got a big dog. I got a big topper. I got the same ball, so they got an advantage on me with the sniper. And it seems to me that we put very little movement on this ball. Let's see if we can get closer than that. 774. I could go up here and do the. Let's do the big topper. It's 2.1 per ring. It's at minimum club, so I'm gonna do a 2-ring pool. Hit it 1 ring great to the left. It missed the rough. The most important part of hitting a rough bump is actually hitting the rough. Arr, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Good game. See if they'll hit replay. If they'll hit replay, I'll replay. If they won't, then I won't. I don't really want to replay them. But I did get finish off my pin chest. Brutal loss. All right, that was today's pin chest. A little bit of stuff. Hey, what is the golden shot? All right, thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you're not a subscriber. There's something down there about like the video. If you like the video, that'll help out. There you go. Have a great one.